Nia Jax, I have here, has apparently now become a heel, not only to the internet wrestling community, but also on television. This is correct, right? Because she's now mad at poor old Pat Buck. Pat Buck was in OVW here for a while after I was gone, so I didn't get to know him at the time, but then I run into him afterwards because he went back to New York, opened up a promotion up there, and has trained a number of people. He opened the whole thing. He told me after the OVW setup, the arena and the training program and whole 9 yards. Now he's a producer for NXT, and apparently he's the one, because I didn't see the backstory to this, but he's the one that announced to Nia Jax that she was suspended before. Was she suspended because her feet were made out of potatoes, or what was she suspended for?
I don't even know.
She was probably suspended for fucking hurting half the roster. But anyway, so they were gathered together in the ring, her and Pat Buck, so that she could nominally, this was the reason, so that she could apologize to him for things that she had said and done, right? And then she proceeds to give, and I've never met this woman, and I don't take any pleasure in knocking her because she's not doing anything goofy or stupid or wacky or funny or phony or whatever to mock the wrestling business. She's just not real fucking good at it. And I don't know if this was, the promo was robotic and monotone. It was Sable-like in its delivery, almost as completely bereft of feeling or tone or inflection as something that the Sable Stepford wife would have uttered out of her udders in days gone by. Is it just that they make her memorize this and recite it? Could she talk better if she was saying something off the top of her head on her own that she would say? Is it the writing, or is it just that she speaks like that? And then she did the goddamn thing. I hate this. I don't know if I've ever said this before. It's a pet peeve of mine, and wrestlers everywhere do it. She said, "You verse me. You verse me." To Pat Buck, "You verse me." It's fucking Versus. Versus. There was a TV network named after it. Versus. Joe Frazier versus Muhammad Ali. Stone Cold Steve Austin versus The Undertaker. It's not Nia Jax verse fucking Pat Buck. And I've heard all kinds of wrestlers say that, and it sounds so stupid when somebody in a combat sport that fights for a living does not know how to pronounce the word versus. But I digress. After the cringeworthy promo by Nia Jax, Pat Buck is good talent in the ring. As we've already mentioned, this material was blech, and he didn't get a chance to say much until finally he just said, "Fine, if you're going to act like this, you're suspended without pay." And when she pulls his jacket down to trap his arms at his sides and headbutts him and knocks him colder than a banker's heart. And then he just laid there, right? And did she beat it? Did she beat him up some more? Or did he just lay there? I can't remember. I've watched so many of these things. But the point is, nobody comes out to help. Nobody tries to check, stop, whatever. The crowd in quotation marks, does fake boos where they're not even trying to sound like they're really mad. It's like it's what we do in wrestling school, training matches. When guys are having matches in wrestling school, it's hard, as we all now know, to have a match in an empty arena. So the fucking other trainees cheer and boo. They cheer the baby face, boo the heel, clap their hands, help make noise. But it's boo, boo. You know they're not mad. They're actually saying boo, boo over and over again. So the crowd's doing fake boos while this giant woman is allegedly physically assaulting an executive with the company. The announcers are calling it. The cameraman doesn't even fucking put his camera down to fucking help the poor guy pull him out of the fucking ring. When did it get impossible to make this shit look in any way legitimate? Because this wouldn't even, I wouldn't have taken 5 minutes to set this fucking thing up 25 years ago, and everybody that I talked to would have known exactly what to fucking do. This could have been the simplest thing in the world, but it's all just, it's just people going out and doing sketches in front of other people. And